Hello everyone, this is Bob Kovacs here at Wirefly, and today I'm going to do a review of the brand new HTC DROID Incredible 2. This is the replacement for the very popular DROID Incredible, which I happen to have right next to me here. So this is the original DROID Incredible on the right and the new Incredible 2 on the left. The original DROID Incredible had a 3.7-inch diagonal screen. The new DROID Incredible 2 has a 4-inch diagonal screen, and piling one phone on top of the other, a little hard to see with the lighting here, but the new DROID Incredible 2 is a little bit wider and just a smidgen taller than the original DROID Incredible. Now I popped both of them open. They both have a battery that is identical in size. However, there's some different safety catches on the battery so that you can't put the old battery in the new phone and the new battery in the old phone, even though they are physically the same size. Now, if you got a knife out and you cut some of that little safety stuff away, you could make the new battery go in the old phone. The reason why I mention that is because the battery that's in the DROID Incredible 2, the new phone, is rated at 1,450 milliamp hours. The old battery is rated at 1,300 milliamp hours. So the new battery is more than 10%. It's about 12% more capacity than the old battery. So if you got a new battery, you could put it in your old DROID Incredible and expect some greater battery life out of it. But to do that, you're going to need to do a little bit of cosmetic surgery on the battery to make it fit. I'm not recommending that you do that or anything. I'm just saying that maybe you could want to do that if you wanted to keep your original DROID Incredible and wanted a little bit better battery life. So anyway, the new battery is a 1450 milliamp hour battery. So let me talk about some of the specifications of the DROID Incredible 2. It's got a 1 gigahertz processor, 768 megabytes of RAM. Once again, that's 768 megabytes of RAM. It has an 8 megapixel still image camera on the back, and on the front, it has a 1 megapixel still image front-facing camera. 1 megapixel means that it's 1,280 pixels by 768 pixels. So it's 1280 by 768 is the resolution of the front-facing camera. And if I remember to get to it, we'll take a little peek at that. So this is a 3G phone. You can see big 3G letters right there. It uses Verizon's CDMA network with EVDO technology. I've done some download tests to see how fast I could do some downloading on this phone, and the fastest I got is about 2.2 megabits per second. That's actually pretty good. I think if I could get 2.2 megabits every day all the time, I probably would be pretty happy with my phone. The DROID Incredible 2 does have mobile hotspot functionality. I don't know if that's an extra cost from Verizon. It may be or it may not be. I'm just not sure about that. But the bottom line is it can be used as a Wi-Fi mobile hotspot. So that's pretty cool. There's a new version of HTC Sense in this phone. It is not Sense 3.0. I've used Sense 3.0, and when you go from page to page on Sense 3.0, there's kind of a 3D effect, and Sense 3.0 allows you to go continuously through your pages. This one doesn't. This bumps into the end of your Android pages there, and it won't go any further. Sense 3.0 will just wrap around. So this is not Sense 3.0, but here's some interesting things. When you go to your apps here, you go to the app tray, and you go from, you scroll through your apps, this scrolls kind of page by page. I'm not sure if I like that. You can't scroll partially. It snaps back to the full page that you were on. So you have to go kind of from page to page. But down here, look at this. This is the button you press to see the entire page. Next to that is your favorites. It kind of goes to the favorites, the apps that you've used lately. Next to that, it shows the apps that you've downloaded. And next to that, it shows the Verizon apps that Verizon has put on this phone. So these are all the apps that Verizon has put onto the Incredible 2. Notice the 3G mobile hotspot here. Another one that Verizon's put on, which I like, is the Need for Speed Shift, which is a pretty fun driving game. I've played Need for Speed, and it's definitely fun. So if you just want to see the apps that you've loaded, here's the apps, not that I've loaded per se, but the apps that I've used. So these are all the apps that I've touched on this phone, and here it puts them here. Oh, you like those apps? Here, I'll put them all on one page for you to find. So I think that that's a pretty cool thing. So I like this version of HTC Sense. It's version 2 point something, but so far I haven't been able to figure it out because it is not showing when I go to my settings here. Let's go like this. When I go to About Phone, usually you can find out the version of Sense that you're using here, and it doesn't say. It does say it's Android 2.2.1. I like that. But it does not say what version of Sense I'm using. So, okay, so that's some of the stats. Oh, one other thing, the display resolution here is 480 by 800. So it's a 4-inch diagonal display with a resolution of 480 by 800, and it is an LCD display. Okay, so I did some extensive testing with the camera on this phone. I know that I've been doing that a lot lately. So here's the camera app, I think is right here, and very easy to use. Okay, we'll just look at the Wirefly sticker there, and if you touch the menus, you can scroll through these and do a variety of adjustments. You can geotag, so you know where you are. It'll give you the geographic coordinates on each photo, and you can switch the camera from the main to the front-facing camera. Now there I am on the front-facing camera, which is right in front of my finger, and I know that I look pretty scary to you guys. Oh no! Okay, let's go back to the rear camera. Actually, I switched to video. So you can record video on either the front or the rear camera. I'm going to go back to still image, select that. Now you can see I'm going to switch camera from the secondary to the primary being the one that's on the back. And so this all works pretty good. There are various effects you can do. I've got the flash forced on, as you can see. If you touch that, now the flash is forced off. Now the flash is in automatic mode. So I took a variety of pictures with the Incredible 2, and I thought that it did a really nice job. I set up a little still life. I thought it got the colors very nicely with the still life, and when I went in for a close-in shot, the focus was exceptionally good. I thought the noise level was a little high. Again, this is the camera that's on a cell phone. It's not as though it is a dedicated camera. This is actually a dedicated cell phone that happens to have a camera tacked on. So I thought it had very crisp close-up capability and had a very sharp focus. Now here's a shot of me that I attempted to do. I had one of my coworkers take this shot of me, and I wanted to see what the flesh tones were like. I had the flash on, so it put a little snap of light in my eyes to make me look a little devilish, as we all know I am. But the flesh tones, well, the picture overall is kind of dark, so you can't really see the flesh tones, but that's how it goes. Outside, I went and shot some video, so we can see what the video looks like. Here's a look at the video that I shot outside. That is the Wirefly building on a very summer-like spring day in April. Bright sunshine. This is the HTC DROID Incredible 2, and it's 720p video setting. Leaves are almost completely out on the trees now. And here in the bright sun, it's very bright and squinty out. It's a little hard to see the screen on this phone. But it is very bright outside. That's the Wirefly building right there in the background. I thought the video looked pretty good, and of course I made some comments during the video. The audio on this video I thought was particularly pretty good for a cell phone video. It is 720p video, so that is pretty good. That is the highest resolution this camera can do, but frankly I think 720p is actually a pretty good standard, pretty good format for HD video. And I tried also the the phone call quality. And the phone call quality, now the Verizon says that the Incredible 2 has got noise cancellation. It may have noise cancellation, but I thought that the phone call quality was kind of distorted and digital sounding. Not as pleasing, not as crisp as some other phones. Not bad. I mean, it's certainly acceptable. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is run some of my favorite bench test apps. The first one I'll start with is Quadrant. First we'll look at the system information, Android 2.2.1. When this phone was being developed, it was called the HTC Vivo, and that's what that is there. It's 1 gigahertz processor. You can see here from the 617 megabytes of RAM that the complete RAM complement is 768, and the resolution is 480 by 800. Okay, so let's go ahead and run the Quadrant tests. I'll come back to this as they're about to wrap up, and we'll pick it up from there. This is the last of the graphics tests in the Quadrant suite of tests. Of course, I'd like to see what the results are. And this said that it scored 1,492 on the Quadrant test. My recollection from the original Incredible that it scored typically around 1,100, maybe as high as 1,200. So this is a boost of about 15%, not bad. The original Incredible was actually, one of the nicer performing phones out there. So this maintains that standard, 1,492 in a phone of this size and specifications is a pretty good measurement. Now you can get more. Certainly the HTC Thunderbolt has got higher scores. And some of the new phones that are coming out, we're expecting the Droid Charge to come in any day. That's made by Samsung, and we expect that to be significantly higher than this. But there's nothing wrong with that. 1492 indicates that this phone has got pretty good, pretty comfortable performance. Okay, so we've run that. Now I'm going to run Smart Bench, another one of my favorite bench tests. And we'll go ahead and see what we get with Smart Bench. And just like with Quadrant, we'll come back to Smart Bench when it's ready to wrap up. This is the last of the tests in the Smart Bench testing suite. That's called the Jellyfish test. And it's going to ask me if I want to display the scores. Of course I want to display the scores. Why bother asking? Just display the scores and get it over with, right? Okay. It always takes a little while for it to do the handshaking here with Smart Bench and get the chart. And here we have the final results from Smart Bench. Now there's two scores here. The productivity index is 1077, and the games index is 1253, 1253. Now, unfortunately, the way Smart Bench organizes this, it puts it right up against some really high-performing phones. Here's the LG Optimus 2X, otherwise known as the LG G2X. And that's got just completely off the charts scores here. Okay, so that's a look at the Smart Bench test scores. Now, what's my final opinion on this phone? I like it. Now, it's a little slippery in the hand. I've noticed that it's kind of wanted to slide out of my hand a couple times. But I love the size and the shape of the Droid Incredible 2. It fits in a pocket very well. I tend to carry my phone in my shirt pocket, and this fits perfectly in my shirt pocket. It's relatively lightweight, and it's relatively small considering the size of the screen that it has. The screen is very nice, very clear and easy to see. In bright sunlight, any phone is going to be a bit of a challenge in bright sunlight. So this was, a little hard to see in bright sunlight, but it was viewable. And anyway, I definitely like it. Now, it's a 3G phone, not a 4G phone. I think we can expect the Incredible 2 will be, as they say, value priced. It's not going to be definitely the most expensive phone that you have out there. It's going to be below the highest price phones. And I think at that, it's going to be an excellent choice. If you want a phone that's not the highest price phone out there, the Droid Incredible 2 is a very solid candidate for you. So give it a chance to take a look at it. A very pretty screen. I like the way this version of HTC Sense works. And of course, we know that Android 2.2 is a very fast and stable operating system. So this is Bob Kovacs here at Wirefly. Thanks for watching.